Call to order the Lewisville Town Council meeting for April of 2013. We will call the roll, and it's our custom in calling the roll to introduce our council to you and as well as our staff. To my immediate right is our Mayor Pro Tem, Sandra Mott, followed by Councilman Ed Smith, Councilman Fred Franklin. To my left is Councilman Robert Green, followed by Councilman Tom Lawson and Councilman Jeff Singer. I'm Dan Pugh, and it's my pleasure to be the mayor and to serve you in that capacity. We have with us tonight our town staff, headed by our town manager, Mr. Hank Perkins, our town attorney, Mr. Bo Howe, our town clerk, Ms. Joyce Walker, our assistant town manager, and our finance director, Kathy Bruce. Also manning the recording is Ms. Lynn Hall, our public information officer, as well as our events coordinator. And we do have the press with us tonight. Elizabeth, welcome. Thank you for being with us also. We also thank the members of the public that are with us tonight. We do have a very short agenda, and we'll get right to work on it in just a moment. But we do thank you for your attendance. And at this time, we have the agenda before you, Council, that I think it's intact as what we approved in our briefing session. So if you need a minute to look over it again, we'll take that. If not, then entertain a motion for adoption.
So moved. I need a second. Second.
Any questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we do have an agenda that we will follow, and we will ask our town manager to lead us through the consent agenda.
Okay. First item on the consent agenda this evening is resolution 2013013. This is the acceptance and approval of monthly financials for February 2013. The second item is the approval of council briefing and action minutes from March 7th, 2013. And the third item on the consent agenda is the approval of council regular minutes, meeting minutes from March 14th, 2013.
Okay. Council, any questions of the manager on any of the items that's on the consent agenda?
Move adoption of consent agenda. Okay.
No further questions. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the like sign. Okay, consent agenda passes.
Okay, the next section in presentations and/or proclamations. Under consent proclamations, we have two. The first is Proclamation 2013-003, proclaiming May 2013 as Lyme Disease Awareness Month. The second consent proclamation is Proclamation 2013-004, proclaiming Saturday, June 15th, 2013 as North Carolina Domestic Violence Proclamation 100 Day.
Council, as we discussed in our briefing, both of these proclamations are ones that we have observed in the past. I don't think there's any changes to it other than updating to the correct dates. Do you have any questions or anything in either of these two proclamations? Yes, we take them separately as far as approving. Or we can do it.
Is it either way, certainly.
Okay, well, let's just take them both together as a consent proclamation. Have a motion?
Motion to approve both.
In a second.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We have approved both proclamations 03 and 04 for the year 2013. All right, next item.
The next section is presentations. We do have a presentation this evening. We have Mr. Paul Hari, and he is in attendance.
Paul has been a member of our Parks and Recreation Committee for a little over five and a half years, so not quite 6. And during that time, he has exhibited a tremendous service to our town. And we're most appreciative of that for your loaning your talents to us and all that you've committed to and the progress that we've made in our Parks and Recreation Board. So it's my pleasure at this time to offer this certificate of appreciation presented to Paul Harry in recognition of service and contributions to the Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Development Board in the town of Lewisville, given under my name, Dan R. Pugh, Mayor, this date, April 11th, 2013. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to have this.
Yeah.
Okay, the next section is public forum.
Okay, this is the first of 2 opportunities that we have in each of our meetings for anyone in the public, any citizens or anyone in present to address council and on any subject. It may be a subject that's in tonight's agenda, or it may be something that's not included. We have our policy and procedure that we always follow, and we will follow tonight, is that we ask that any individual that wants to address council come forward to the microphone, that they state their name, their address, and limit your comments to 3 minutes. We're here to listen. We're here to take into consideration what the comments may be. We will not enter in discussion. We will not enter in debate over any issue. So at this time, I have signed up Mr. Robin Dean. If you would come forward, please.
Mr. Mayor, council members and staff, my name's Robin Dean. I live in 3523 Lawrence Street in Clements, and I'm one of your neighbours, and I appreciate you allowing me to speak. Elected officials encourage the people they represent to be law-abiding and good neighbours. Having lived in this area for 40 years and been involved in youth programmes, future growth, improved quality of life, and while I agree that Americans should be allowed to have guns in their own homes, where guns in general are concerned, it shouldn't only be the rights of the gun owners that are heard. Those of us that want to leave the safety of Americans in public areas to the trained law enforcement officers are denied the opportunity of either questioning or voting on the gun issue. Elected officials say they reach decisions based on what their residents want, and while in most cases rezoning, financial and development decisions, public hearings are federally mandated. Where guns are concerned, no public vote is ever allowed. Tankwood Park bans all types of weapons, concealed or otherwise, while Lewisville, by removing the word weapons from your park signs, while you continue to ban all sorts of comparatively harmless things that can be seen from a distance and therefore easily avoided and the problem dealt with, while guns that indiscriminately kill or maim people from a distance are allowed. As well as reading your signs and speaking to not only the residents and the visitors in your parks, I've also talked to residents in Lewisville and Clements, and allowing concealed weapons in Lewisville's family-friendly areas has not really been that well taken. Over the years, slavery, segregation, and women not being able to vote have all been banned. Our health is protected with respect to the air we breathe, what we eat and drink, and the safety of both cars and drivers has been improved, but the outdated right to bear arms remains untouchable. The right to bear arms was signed into the Constitution in 1791 when The only arms available were single-shot muskets, pistols and cannons. But now the right to bear arms means, what does that mean?
That's the timer.
Oh, I can come back and finish it off next time, or do you want me to just carry on? I've only got a couple.
We'll give you a couple of extra seconds.
Okay. But now the right to bear arms means that multiple round assault weapons that killed 20 elementary students and 6 teachers in a matter of seconds can't be discussed or voted on by the public, even though 85% of Americans believe the right to bear arms should be amended and brought up to date and bring America into the 21st century. As a result of my research, I've got 2 questions I'd like to ask. Elected officials are supposed to be our teachers. So my first question is, shouldn't our elected officials, as well as the public, become better educated? Because our elected officials are the ones that have allowed every state, county and municipality to have their own gun laws and regulations, which has created America's present confused and hostile society. Secondly, if you found that banning concealed weapons in public parks didn't violate any laws, would you rethink your decision and allow the residents of Lewisville to engage in a public debate and democratically vote on whether weapons in their family parks should be allowed?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else in the audience that would like to address council at this time? We do have another method of addressing council on any subject, and that is by written comment, and we do have the forms at the back of the chambers for that method. No other takers. Well, then we will close the public forum for this part of the agenda and go to the next item.
Okay. The next section is purchases and contracts. First is Resolution 2013-014. This resolution is awarding contract to Hills Paving and Construction Incorporated of Lewisville in the amount of $37,044 for a 1.5-inch pavement overlay on proposed streets needing repair as determined by ranking from infrastructure reports.
We did cover this item in depth, I think, at our meeting on this past week, the briefing meeting. Anyone have questions for the manager concerning this resolution 2013-014?
Only question, and I'm reviewing the resolution right quick, just give me a second. What streets again? And normally the resolution has a list of what.
Okay. Yes, Ms. Walker's
Just
got
on
it.
list, please.
You want to talk about the other one?
Do you want to go ahead? Well, go ahead and read the list, and then apparently the list is covered by both contracts.
Yes.
Okay.
They're in alphabetical order. Blakely Way Lane, Carter's Grove Road, Goldfinch Road, Larkwood Drive, Oak Grove Avenue, Peak Road, Saskatoon Lane, Tarawood Drive, and Warbler Road.
And that's inclusive in both of these?
In
bids?
both,
Okay,
right, and
all right.
I think you talk about it more.
Do we need to separate the ones by resolution?
Right, I think that you're fine if you pass each resolution, and you'll cover all the pavement needs on all of the streets that have been listed.
I'll make a motion then to approve resolution 2013-014.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the like sign. Okay, that resolution passes.
Okay, the next resolution is, I guess it's twin, Resolution 2013-015, awarding contract to Hills Paving and Construction Incorporated of Lewisville in the amount of $42,759 for full depth patching as proposed streets needing repair as determined by ranking from infrastructure report. And this is again a resolution for contract that was discussed last week in the briefing as well.
other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. The 2013 Resolution 15 passes also.
Okay.
Next item.
All right, the next section is board and committee appointments. There are none for this evening. Next section is old business. There is none listed for this evening as well. Public hearings is the next section. There are no public hearings scheduled for this evening. The next section is unfinished business. There is no unfinished business listed on the agenda this evening. The next section, new business, we have before you for your consideration ordinance 2013-008, amending chapter 32 of the Lewisville Code of Ordinances to repeal section 32-7 on water and sewer. This was an item that had been discussed last week as well at our briefing meeting.
Council, anyone have questions or comments concerning this ordinance?
I'd make a motion to adopt 008.
I'll second
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, please say aye.
that. Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Next section, under administrative reports, we have events at Shallowford Square. And this is material listed in your agenda packet as well. On, I guess it's April 27th, on Saturday, we will have movie night. It'll be the kickoff event. That'll be in the square. On May 11th, we're going to have a concert for the town of Lewisville. It will be a Lewisville event. And let me find it again. Help me out here, I'm looking for the Civic Club's event.
It's right under the movie.
Okay.
May 4th.
Okay, May 4th, I'm sorry, I missed it when I was looking over. We do have a group event that is being put on by the Civic Club for their fair in the square.
Okay.
And then it looks like we will be observing a Memorial Day holiday on May 27th.
Also like to point out there on May the 27th, the American Legion is going to have a Memorial Day event.
That is correct. And it looks like the last day of May, we do have another play performance in the park on the last day of May.
Any questions on the events scheduled for Lewisville over the next couple of months? Go on to the next item, please.
The next item on the agenda is an update. This is under manager's report. This was update on GWR project for design and surveying. At our meeting last week, we had a discussion from moving forward on two separate projects in the past. One project would be for construction design work for funding that had been through our MPO for the construction design work for the section of Great Wagon Road that we have in place for between Shallowford and David McKee. The other project would have been for the survey work required for the northern section up to Lewisville-Vienna Road. The discussion last week centered around the idea that the MPO and staff with DOT is encouraging that we group both of these projects under one grant proposal and move forward that way. And I think we had some questions that needed clarification last week when we discussed this. Clarification meaning that this does, and we do understand that by accepting this project and moving forward with these two items as one project, we are committing to start of construction in a 10-year window from the time that our municipal agreement with the Department of Transportation is undertaken. The concern last week was that we are in fact only able to commit to start of construction for that portion that we've obtained right-of-way for, and that the concern was that in the northern section, for which we haven't even surveyed, it would be very difficult to commit to construction of that section, while we have yet to determine the path concretely, and we have yet to determine or acquire the right-of-way required for the project. I did, for clarification's sake, call Mr. Greg Garrett with Winston-Salem, and he did confirm with me that we are not in any way, shape, or form committing to the construction of the entire length of the project area by the acceptance of the grant. In his words, the DOT needs to know that the town of Lewisville is committing to building something. And he even allowed me to say that if you feel comfortable for that, you can even express this in writing to us, that you are understanding and accepting for this project that you can look forward to at least starting construction for that portion between Shallowford Road and David McKee. But he did, for the record, in his conversation with me, reiterate that we are not committing to construction of the entire length of the road.
Now, Mr. Eric's position also includes the MPO, the TCC, and the TAC. Is that
Yes, sir,
correct?
that is right.
Okay. So it's official from that aspect.
That is, he is the chairman of the MPO, TCC, and he is the staff lead for all those agencies.
Very good. Any questions from council concerning that update?
With that in mind, I know I was sort of discussing next week to confirm that the council is okay with moving forward under those conditions. Is that safe to assume? I don't know if you would want to have a vote.
Do we need to take a vote or just a nod of the head and a consensus?
My comment at this point in time is Ms. Bruce showed me some timeline that I was asking about
Yes, sir.
and indicated that it was attached somewhere to our packets, and as of right now, we can't find that information, three of them's over here, so, you know,
That is,
I would, but, you know.
it's under other documents.
We placed that under other documents so that you could put it aside and have it at any given time to refer back to.
In the Dropbox, you're talking?
Yes,
I'm in the Dropbox, and I don't see anything about other documents. We can discuss this after the meeting.
You may have to vote it. I failed to do that myself, and so.
Part of it is, it goes all the way back to a timeline that was established starting in 1991. And I think Ms. Hall actually fixed this for information packets, and then it goes up to 2004. I picked it up and went from 2005 so that you could see that there has not been what you would call any construction design for this section between David McKee and the Oaks. The only thing you have is conceptual design, working with Wilbur Smith on that. And Wilbur Smith was contracted to do the construction design, I think, for the Shallowford Roundabout.
Fred, I think that's loading on the monitor.
You know, I know. Any,
And you can have that in review, and if you have any questions later on.
Joyce, I'm with you on one paper.
Did you find it?
Yes. Makes my life simpler. So now where were we?
Sorry?
I said, now where were we? What do we need to?
Well, we were getting, I think the
Correct.
manager had asked for a consensus of.
It doesn't require, they just wanted to make sure that we're still good to go.
Well, I think that's appropriate to have a paper trail and get their concurrence with our understanding. Or we'll get concurrence with their understanding.
That's right.
That agreement?
Yeah, Monday's not too far away from tonight, so we'll continue to discuss this on Monday.
We can. regard.
Okay.
Please proceed.
Okay.
And proceed with the agenda too.
All right. The next and last item on the administrative report under the manager's report, number 2, is budget message. This is the evening and the official presentation of this year's fiscal year budget. And I will, at this time, read out the budget message for this year's fiscal year. Okay? As town manager, I am pleased to present the proposed budget of $3,974,830 for fiscal year 2013-2014. The budget as proposed includes a tax rate of 20.3 cents per $100 valuation. This budget shows an increase in the general fund from revenue from the previous year of $108,880. This represents an increase of approximately 2.8%. Forsyth County has completed and released new valuation numbers for a 4-year cycle. Tax values for fiscal year 2012-2013 were at $1,290,500. $290,502,160. According to the Forsyth County tax appraisers, the total tax value for Lewisville for the upcoming fiscal year is estimated at $1,187,149,330. This is an apparent loss of approximately 8%. The resulting revenue neutral rate for fiscal year 2013-2014 is 19.3 cents per $100 evaluation for the general fund. The current tax rate for the general fund is 17.7 cents per $100 evaluation. The town of Lewisville also collects a levy for a municipal service district. The current tax rate is 5 cents per $100 evaluation. The revenue neutral tax rate for the service district is 5.71 cents per $100 evaluation. The revenue neutral rate represents the tax rate required for the town to collect the same amount of property tax revenue as it did in the prior year using the values determined under the revaluation process. The proposed tax rate of 20.3 cents per $100 is proposed to adopt a balanced budget with no appropriation of fund balance. If Lewisville moves forward with a current tax rate of 17.7 cents per $100, we will need to appropriate approximately $300,000 in fund balance for the upcoming fiscal year under the proposed budget. If Lewisville moves forward with the revenue neutral rate for the general fund of 19.3 cents per $100, approximately $100,000 would currently be required to balance. The tax base for the town as of April 1st, 2013 was $1,187,149,330, producing an ad valorem tax revenue of $2,222,470, with 1 cent on the tax rate equaling $115,154. Once again, in the face of a challenging economic environment, the Town Council has been diligent and used sound financial planning to continue its commitment to its citizens of Lewisville to provide the highest standard of service. They have done this while maintaining a level of fund balance to secure future funding opportunities. The unrestricted fund balance is estimated to be $3.5 million as of June 30, 2013. Revenues for the upcoming fiscal year of 2013-2014 could be subject to drastic changes depending on potential legislation from the North Carolina General Assembly. To date, there is a Senate bill, SB 394, that would have passed to provide comprehensive tax reform in North Carolina. According to the North Carolina League of Municipalities, as proposed currently, the bill would reduce personal and corporate income tax rates, but it would also eliminate at least $320 million in existing municipal revenue while providing an unspecified amount of new revenue through an expanded sales tax base. The bill would make numerous changes that reduce municipal revenues, such as the reduction of sales tax on food from 2% to 1%, the elimination of various franchise taxes that represent approximately $200 million in local revenue statewide, the elimination of all state and local business privilege license taxes, and the elimination of local distribution from beer and wine excise taxes. The bill would replace these revenues in a currently undetermined amount through the expansion of the state and local sales tax base on many entertainment, recreational activities, and various service industry work. To date, the bill does not hold cities quote-unquote harmless in the event that these new revenue sources do not at least equal those revenues lost. In any event, we must move forward with the budget under our current revenue structure until such time that the General Assembly takes action on any tax reform initiatives. Ultimately, our municipal budget is subject to a drastic change if proposed changes in the tax system in North Carolina are passed. Town services. The town of Lewisville stays committed to the continuation of all of its existing services for the upcoming fiscal year, to include parks and recreation, financial administration, planning and zoning, public works, beautification services, residential garbage and recycling, stormwater management, and community policing. All services are proposed to continue at current service levels for the upcoming fiscal year. Capital projects. The capital projects that remain in the budget during the fiscal year 2013-2014 are as follows: Shallowford Road, Williams Road Roundabout, Lewisville-Vienna Sidewalk Project, Great Wagon Road Development, Design, Construction. This budget reflects the desire of council to address the needs of the town while being cognizant of economic conditions. Choices made and expenditures were done to meet the priorities and goals of the council established during the retreat process and discussions at council meetings over the past year. During the next few weeks, the council will meet and deliberate the proposal set forth and make adjustments as needed. I would like to thank the staff and their assistance with the development of this budget and the town council for their diligence and support during the time of transition. Final adoption of the budget is scheduled for the council meeting in June. If I may be of any assistance, please feel free to contact me. Sincerely, William H. Perkins.
Well, as town manager, we certainly thank you and the staff for all the work and the effort that you put forward with this. Might just remind the public that we ask that or require of our manager and staff to present a budget that does continue the services that we currently provide our citizens, as well as fully funding our capital projects, also and our various events, things of that nature. It is a proposal that we've already started our budget deliberations by council. We had our first one this past Monday, and we're having budget meetings, workshops that the council is involved in. I think each Monday of this month, as well as maybe the first Monday or two in May. And it's at that time that the council will deliberate and study the proposed budget as brought forward by the manager, and we'll make any alterations to it ultimately for final approval at the end of June 2013. Council members, do you have any comments or any questions concerning the proposed budget and the budget message from the town manager? Okay, well, job well done. Thank you, manager, and your staff for a lot of hard work and effort put into that, and we'll take it from here.
Okay.
So, all right. Next item.
Okay, the next section is for the good of the order. We have section A again, our second of public comments periods.
Okay. As I said earlier, this is the second opportunity that we have in our meetings for anyone of the public to come forward and address council on anything that may have occurred in tonight's meeting or anything else that may be on of value to you as an individual that you would like council to hear about. The same rules and regulations apply in this public comment session as was earlier stated. And so we ask that if anyone wants to address council at this time, that you come forward to the microphone and state your name and your address. And again, we limit our comments to 3 minutes. Anyone?
Could I just- Yeah, first of all, I'd like to thank you all again, but this has been an education to me because especially the town manager, you know, I got forcibly annexed into Clemens, and one of the reasons...
You do need to state your name and
Oh,
address.
sorry.
Please.
My name is Mr. C. Robin Dean. I live at 3523 Lion Street in Clemens. And it's been very educational for me because I got forcibly annexed into Clemens. Forcibly, fortunately they can't do forced annexation anymore, but in 1986 when they incorporated, their property tax rate was 9.85, and I argued with them, you know, you haven't done anything since then, and I don't particularly want to do business with a council that doesn't resolve problems. And, you know, it wasn't until 2010, that's 25 years later, they actually raised it to 11.5. And, you know, I'm listening to Lewisville, and I'm driving around Lewisville, and I'm just going, why haven't they done something like this in Clemens? But, I mean, you got a 17 cent, and, you know, you got something to show for it. You know, people got a return on their investment in Lewisville, and like I say, it's been an education to me, and I really thank you very much. Thank you.
We appreciate those comments. Thank you. Anyone else like to address council at this time? Well, again, we have a method of written comments if you would like to use that method. With that, we will close the public comment section, and we will hear from council as to if you have any comments from tonight's meeting. Anyone?
Just one comment on the numbers with the budget. It just kind of occurred to me as I was looking at it, and I used my trusty little calculator, and that the constituents in Lewisville, based on those numbers, took a $103 million hit in property value. That's real net worth. And so I just think we need to be careful as we talk about this, because for some people, depending on their circumstances, that hit them harder than others. But that's a big deal. It's a lot of jack from where I come from. And so, you know, duly noted that, you know, our constituents have already paid a price for what has happened. That's my only comment.
And that doesn't include other personal property.
Right,
Things
that's
that
just the real
yes,
estate.
that is just real estate. Okay. Anyone else? All right. Hearing none, I think that brings us to the close of our meeting. We did promise a short meeting tonight. I think we've delivered that. Thanks for all that participated. Now we'll entertain a motion for adjournment. Second. All right. All in favor? Please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we are adjourned.